We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
Looking to bet smarter? Get sports betting insight and winning picks straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
The favorite should be 220-ish, and here you can lay $1.65.
So getting a plus 315 price here for this one to go to overtime. I like it.
Their strength is their defense. I like the under.
Join Sports by the Book Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific and bet your winning edge.
Welcome in, everybody. We have a good one for you today. 15 hockey games on tap, and we're excited to break them all down here on Sports by the Book. We also have a guest. It's been a minute. We haven't seen our guy, Dwayne Colucci, for a week or two, so we're really excited to get a chance to talk with him in about 5 minutes here. But as I mentioned, Sports by the Book live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. I'm Alex White. You will see Ryan McCormick here shortly. Remember, you can find us 5 days a week, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And please make sure and hit that subscribe button. We do have a goal going until football season. So through baseball, where's all our baseball fans? We are just a day away. We cannot wait for the MLB. It'll be a lot of hockey and a lot of baseball throughout the next couple of months, as well as the Sweet 16. And we'll get Dwayne's thoughts on how the tournament has gone so far and if he likes anything this weekend. I took the night off. It was much needed last night in betting. And Ryan McCormick, though, coming through with a 2-team parlay for everybody. Cash in with a nice little plus money price there, Ryan.
Yeah, plus 185 on the Ottawa Senators, getting it done on the money line, and an under 6 there in Madison Square Garden against the Rangers. Ottawa held the Rangers to 10 total shots on goal in this game. So, I mean, I get the final score was 2-1. Doesn't really look like domination, but Ottawa really dominated that game, and it was good to see. So few goals as we had money line and under 6. So a nice plus 185 price there. Was also getting to enjoy that one from the control room up at the Las Vegas ballpark as we had Arizona State against UNLV, some college baseball action up at the Las Vegas ballpark last night. It was a 12-0 game for Arizona State in the 4th inning. And then UNLV proceeded to score 3 runs in the 6th and 8 runs, including a grand slam in the bottom of the 8th to make it 12-11. And then the top of the 9th had a nice flashy behind-the-back starter of a double play by the same guy that hit the grand slam the inning before. UNLV did fall short of the comeback, did lose 12-11 in that one, but it was a pretty exciting one to watch. I know not a lot of people I was with enjoyed the college baseball, the fact that it was kind of sloppy baseball, a lot of walks and pass balls and such. But it was a pretty fun game to experience, and ended up rooting for the Rebels to complete that 12-0 comeback to kind of to prove to themselves at least that they can compete with a top 25 team in the country.
So far, off to a good season. The UNLV Rebels, the Hustlin' Rebels, that is. I got to imagine a lot of energy. I know there's a big gap in pitching, really, from college and then when you are working for a minor league team and into the pros. But energy, right, from both dugouts, and that's what makes college baseball a lot of fun.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's go through some trends. Let's go through some posts from yesterday. We have had some more votes with our posts that are on our YouTube page, not just the ones that we are doing live throughout the show. Let's go through those, and then let's bring on Dwayne Colucci.
All right. Well, Wager Talk wasn't too friendly about looking at yesterday's numbers, needing us to update, and then not showing us anything when we updated. So no closing numbers brought to you by the South Point Sportsbook. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get those for today. Nice horn there. All right, going to yesterday's YouTube posts. That we posted 2 of them as we're exactly 1 month from the beginning of the 2026 NFL draft yesterday. So T-minus 1 month from the 2026 NFL draft. Which team in the top draft position is most likely to trade their pick in this year's draft? So we give you the Raiders at 1, the Jets at 2, the Cardinals at 3, and the Titans at 4. And almost 50% of the vote saying the Cardinals are going to be trading that number 3 pick. So we will see what shakes down here in the next month. We also gave you 2 to go. Which 2 seed will be the first to fall in the NCAA tournament? UConn, Purdue, Houston, and Iowa State. And no love for the Huskies. 83% of the vote saying that they are the first to lose, whether that be Thursday against Michigan State or against St. John's or Duke, whoever advances going through there in the East region. So 83% of the vote saying UConn falls first as a 2 seed. For today's post, which is linked in the description of today's video. So after you, again, make sure that you're subscribed, you can vote in that one. So we give you 1, 2, 3, 4. Which conference won't make the Final Four? Let us know your prediction as we get closer to the Final Four in the this year's men's NCAA tournament. ACC only has 1 remaining team. That would be Duke. Big East, who has 2 remaining teams. That'd be UConn and St. John's, both in the same region. The Big 12, who has 3 remaining teams, and the SEC, who has 4. So most likely to get through would be the SEC, and the least likely would be ACC, but you can vote on that, which conference will not make it to the Final Four.
That's a tough one, though, because as you mentioned, Big East, 2 remaining teams in the same region, as well as the same region as Duke. So kind of just battling out right there between those 2. And that's actually right where I want to start with Dwayne Colucci, if we can bring him in. Are we good on audio? I think I can hear him. We can bring him in here. You see him all the time here on Sports by the Book. You see him on Race Day Las Vegas. He will be on Ralph's show tomorrow morning. There he is. And you can see him up at Summerlin Resort at Summerlin. DC, starting right there, how was the first weekend for you guys of the big NCAA tournament for the men's side?
Oh, it was packed, Alex. It was just craziness. I mean, we had such an amazing crowd. We had so many giveaways. We had the Papa Shot, little basketball hoop set up in the Racing Sportsbook. So, it was definitely off the hook. We had people coming from all over the country, and it was a lot of fun. It's great to see all those faces that you don't see during the course of, the whole season that come out and commute for that huge 4 days. And, it was just exciting and some great basketball, too. You had a lot of peaks and lows for some of the crowds and the bettors, and just some really, really fantastic basketball. And it brings, a great product to the table year in and year out. And that's why it's definitely our second biggest event to the Super Bowl is that opening week of March Madness. And it just continues on. We're looking forward to some great games on, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday upcoming. So just a lot of excitement. And, great to see all those people that I haven't seen in a while, and a lot of new faces as well. We have so many restaurant outlets at the resort at Summerlin opening up. So, you see all those people coming in. They check out the Race at Sportsbook. They're getting their burgers. They're getting their tacos. They're getting their Ipazzi pizza. So, it's just a lot of exciting and a lot of excitement and a lot going on at the resort at Summerlin.
We talk about the games coming up, and we kind of get that based on the favorites going through their domination through that first weekend. So favorites went 39-6 straight up. How'd that really turn out for the book up there?
Yeah, well, Ryan, that's a great point. I mean, Saturday we got crushed. Definitely Caesar Sports took it on the chin. But, you expect that when you have all these favorites that start to roll in and you get those big money line parlays, you have a lot of propositions that start to pop. And, most of the teams that were expected to win did win. And, definitely when you start to see teams like Arkansas, Arizona, Duke, I said it time and time again, these teams continue to win. Iowa State, UConn, Purdue. It becomes very tough as a bookmaker. And a lot of people were riding Houston as well, who was a very good team. So, when you have a lot of 1 and 2s going on and into the Sweet 16, it's tough for a bookmaker, and it's very tough for, a corporation that's booking from all over the country, the way Caesar Sports is when you have so many of these favorites popping. So, definitely there'll be some upsets, Ryan. Don't worry. You know how this tournament plays out. But now we're to the nitty gritty, and the best teams are basically left. So it's going to be difficult. But most of the teams that I thought were going to advance did. And, even when I'm right, that shows you that the public is going to be right as well.
Dwayne, I want to ask you just one more about this past weekend and kind of some of the really good games that we did have. I mean, Nebraska and Vandy comes to mind, Iowa pulling off the upset over Florida. What really sticks out to you? What did you think was kind of the biggest game that you remember from the first weekend?
Probably, Alex, the biggest game. I'm a St. John's guy, so St. John's just lasting against Kansas and the referees. I mean, the refs were doing everything in their power to just basically call the game for Kansas, in my opinion. So, it became an exciting game, but I think it was more by circumstance. I mean, there was a terrible backcourt call there where definitely the Kansas player tipped the ball. They called backcourt. Then there's a guy standing out of bounds, passing it to his player. They only had 2 fouls. They had a foul like 3 times in 10 seconds just to get, down to that 3.9 seconds where St. John's finally won the game. It became an exciting game, but it wasn't, it left an impression in that aspect, in my opinion, as opposed to most of the other exciting games. Arizona going back and forth. That was a great game as well, So, yeah, there were quite a few games that left an impression. Florida getting upset. So there was a lot of excitement, Alex. I'll be honest with you. It was great basketball, and it will continue to be great basketball. Very impressed with, like I said, the way Arkansas and Houston are playing, as well as St. John's. St. John's basically dominated that game against Kansas, and we'll see if they could play well against Duke, who is so good and so tough to beat. So most of the best teams are available, like I said. So it's going to be an exciting Sweet 16, and we're going to have an excellent handle at the resort at Summerlin. I can just sense it.
Well, you talked about the whistles maybe favoring Kansas in that matchup for St. John's. You should expect no different for the whistles favoring the Blue Devils here in this next meeting. But curious about your other thoughts on the other side of that same region, Michigan State and UConn. Who do you think will end up advancing from that one, as we've seen that price move open close to a pick, but it's now moved to UConn being a much heavier favorite?
Yeah, that's a tough one, Ryan. I'll be honest with you. I thought we would take some Sparty money, but people are starting to ride UConn now, and they're a battle-tested team. I mean, they played St. John's 3 times. They lost twice. The Big East was a very difficult conference, and they're very well coached as well. So UConn's been there and done that. That's the whole key. And when you have experience, when you get to this time of the tournament, it definitely comes to play out. And I was surprised that you said that UConn was the 2 seed that they were picking that would lose, the quickest, when you just on the segue mentioned that. But UConn is definitely going to be tough, and that's why we're seeing that money and the spread go that way. Sparty, though, excellent team, excellent coach, a lot of tradition there as well. So we'll see how it plays out. But, I'm going to be riding with St. John's. I think St. John's is probably still the best team left there, despite Duke in that big matchup.
The East is loaded. Cannot wait for both of those games. I want to move over to the South where it's loaded with Big Ten teams. You mentioned Houston, and you're right, their defense is really showing up now, tournament time when it matters most. They have Illinois. And then on the other side, Dwayne, Iowa and Nebraska, two teams that were not really expected to make a run. Nebraska finally wins a tournament game, and now here they are in the Sweet 16. Do you like one side or the other for that one? And then do you think Illinois can at least cover here against the Houston Cougars?
Well, Nebraska has an excellent chance, Alex. I mean, you look at the way they played throughout the season. They were, flew under the radar. Their Kempom, was outside of the top 20, and then all of a sudden they were in there. Definitely a tough matchup now with Iowa, though. Iowa beat Florida, beat Clemson. They did beat Maryland down the stretch, but lost to Ohio State. So, this is going to be an interesting battle. Nebraska definitely has a chance. This is a tough, tough game for me to handicap, in my opinion. And I'm going to be probably laying off this game. I mean, this is one of the tougher matchups. And Nebraska has definitely proven themselves now. That was a huge, huge win against Vandy. And Vandy was a great team, so in my opinion. So, this is a tough, tough matchup. On the other side, I like Houston. Like, I've said before, that defense, you hit the nail on the head. They're such a solid, solid team, in my opinion. And I think they're going to continue to play at a high level and play defense at a high level. And we know how Sampson coaches. He's just a monster. And, not much beating in Idaho, but just that thrashing of Texas A&M shows you that they could control a game from start to finish. They never take the pedal off the metal. They're scoring now close to 70, 75. So that's another good sign that they could put the ball in the hoop. I like Houston in this matchup. I think it's going to be easier than it perceives.
I'm curious, you mentioned Arkansas playing pretty well here, and they've got Arizona on deck, and then we have the lone double-digit seed remaining in that region. That'd be Texas against Purdue. So do you think Arkansas has a chance to take down the Wildcats here, and then do you think the Longhorns can do the same to the Boilermakers?
This is tough, Ryan. I'll tell you right now, Arkansas, though, is the team that could beat Arizona if possible. So, you saw how well they played in their tournament. And they played games that were they weren't spread apart. I mean, they played a late night game in that SEC tournament. Then they had to bounce back and play, a quick game in the morning against Ole Miss. They were able to, play and dominate that tournament. Calipari has them playing at an excellent level, but you look at Arizona. I mean, Arizona's last game of the season, they beat Houston, who we were just talking about, and Arizona is very tough. They're the top team in the country. It's either them or Duke, and it's going to be tough. But I think Arkansas has an excellent, excellent chance. I do like Purdue against Texas. I think Texas is playing the Cinderella card. And that usually does play out well when you get to the Sweet 16. But now this is a different entity. I think Purdue and the Boilermakers will get it done.
Dwayne, going into the tournament, who did you pick as your champion? And then now that we have our Sweet 16 and the team's set, would you change it or are you keeping it the same?
Well, it was hard, Alex, because I did like Duke and Arizona, so I wasn't going to bet them in the futures market. But I did take Arkansas, and St. John's. I did preach St. John's on several other broadcasts. I told everybody that, Pitino had them playing their best basketball at the most important time of the year, which is now. So, I do have a 60-1 in there. Also I do have Arkansas at some pretty decent odds. I would have to check, but those were the two underdog teams that I was picking, and they definitely are playing at an excellent, excellent level. I did like Arizona and Duke, though, as well. I know what I'm dealing with when you play against these powerhouses, and now with Duke coming up against St. John's, I'm hoping for an upset here, and it's definitely possible. I mean, Pitino knows how to coach at this time of the season, and now getting St. John's back into the Sweet 16. It's just an amazing feeling for everybody in New York. It's been years and years and years. I mean, you got to go back to Chris Mullin and, Walter Berry and those guys, and Bill Wennington, which, I was a youngster back then, but I remember how well they played as a cohesive unit under Lou Carnesecca, battling, with Georgetown, Patrick Ewing and those monsters and great players, and John Thompson. Now we're starting to get the Big East back on the map. Great basketball was always synonymous with the Big East, and now it's coming back full circle, especially with UConn also now in the Sweet 16 and having won a championship in the prior few seasons.
All right, DC. We'll go to pucks, and I'm going to start with the team that you are wearing on your head. The Montreal Canadiens taking on the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. The Habs did win earlier this year 7-5 in Raleigh. Do you think they can defend home ice here tonight?
It's going to be tough, but yes, I definitely do. They need to win games. You have to stay pace with Tampa and Buffalo. Buffalo is just put the pedal to the metal and playing at an incredible level right now in that division. And Montreal wants to keep pace with this playoff chase that they have right now. And Cole Caulfield is just playing at an amazing level, second in the league in scoring and just playing, absolutely the sniper. He's what we need because Suzuki is passing the puck well. We're seeing that. Slavkovsky, he's carried his momentum from the Olympics, which is just incredible. The goaltending, again, is what's still under the microscope. But, if Dobish and Fowler could combine and keep winning these games, they definitely will make the playoffs. But as you can see on that graphic, I can't believe Buffalo opened up a 9-point lead there. That's just incredible. We knew we were going to have to catch Tampa, but the way Buffalo has played, and especially on that road trip, it's made it even more difficult. Carolina is sustaining their lead. You expected that because it was such a big lead. You kind of knew Pittsburgh with the Malkin suspension, the Crosby being banged up out of the Olympics. There could have been, it's hard to make up 10, 11, 12 points on a team that is playing at a 45-19 cusp. And, very difficult week for Montreal coming up. I think they also have to play Columbus, who you see is in the top 3 in that graphic as well, in the top 6 in the playoff chase. Islanders, they're very hungry, but the Canadians laid a vicious beating on them the other night, which I was glad to see, especially with Patrick coming to, the Bell Center and all that momentum that he tries to carry with this Islander team. But Montreal could definitely make the playoffs, and this is a measuring stick game. I think they could beat them again. I'll be honest with with you, Ryan, but they have to play at a top level. They're going to need a little output from Kapanen and Demidov, who have cooled off a little. That's going to be a focal point. I also think they should definitely add Patrick Laine to the fourth line. I don't understand what St. Louis and the front office are thinking there. I believe he's healthy now. So, we need to put the puck in the net, and he definitely could help.
Dwayne, about the total there, Ryan mentioned it, 7-5 final in the last matchup between these two. And the Canes right now averaging 4.1 goals per game in their last 10, and they're giving up 3.4. It's 6.5 juice to the over, but, I wouldn't want to bet an under here. Or do you think it's going to be more like a playoff field game?
Well, I think it'll be a playoff field game, Alex. But like you said, these goaltenders could still give up goals. And Montreal could score, as can Carolina. Carolina's averaging a lot of goals. Montreal scored 8 in the last one. So, yeah, why not? That's why you're seeing the overjuiced. Us bookmakers, whether it's at Caesars or at the South Point, we have to pay attention to these trends. And definitely with Montreal scoring, the suspect goaltending, as well as Carolina being able to put the puck in the net, it becomes difficult if you're looking to bet an under in a scenario like this. But these teams need to win games. Maybe not Carolina as much. They're definitely a shoe-in for the playoffs. But, the play starts to tighten when you only have 12, 15 games left in the regular season. And you're going to get a playoff type atmosphere, especially in the Bell Center. The crowd is going to be off the hook. It's going to be a sellout. That. So, the Montreal fans are sensing another playoff run, and they want to accomplish more than they did last year in an early round exit against Washington. And I think this is a better Montreal team this year. But the league has also improved. You see how the teams like Buffalo have improved. Carolina, I believe, has improved. The Islanders, Boston is playing at a good level. Ottawa is very difficult to stop at home. So Detroit, they're all battling, and these games become very difficult. So you see more harder checking, harder skating, and the goaltenders actually step up their abilities and play. So, totals become very difficult to handicap, especially when you get into the 6.5s and 7, which you never used to see in Montreal Canadian games. It was always the 3-1, 2-1, 3-2 type of game. But now with the firepower and the lines that they have that are 3 to 4 deep, it becomes hard to bet unders in this, scenario.
Okay. Curious about another one in the Eastern Conference that will absolutely be a playoff atmosphere tonight, and that is in Hockeytown, in Detroit, where the Senators are taking on the Red Wings, 2 teams currently out of the playoff picture, but they are the first 2 teams out of the playoff picture. Ottawa's won 9 games off the Olympic break. Detroit's struggling here a little bit. But with this game tonight, with a minus 125 here at the South Point, what do you think here with the Wings and Sens?
Yeah, you're right there. Detroit, they are 2-3 in their last five. I'm looking at it now, Ryan. They did beat the Canadians, which that was a strong game. They scored with 3 minutes to go. I remember that game, and that definitely left an impression I didn't like. It foul taste in my mouth. I thought Montreal kept pace with them. Like I told you, though, always Ottawa is much stronger at home. You could see they won three in a row. Two of them were at home. Dominated the Rangers, but the Rangers could be dominated at times. Only held them to what? You said it, Ryan. 10 shots. What a great pick you made there. Great selection last night. And Ottawa is very hungry now. They're starting to play at a high level. This is a very, very difficult game to handicap. It's going to be a huge playoff atmosphere. Ottawa is carrying a lot of momentum, though. Like you said, now 5 out of 6 wins. They could win on the road tonight. I might take a shot with Ottawa here. I think Detroit needs to really bring their best game if they want to make the playoffs, but Ottawa's got that momentum right now. Just hope they don't fall asleep after that dominating performance last night against the Rangers.
Dwayne, any underdogs jump out to you today? And then we will ask you about our poll question, which 3 teams trying to make it 3 in a row and have some pretty favorable matchups. So we'll get to that. But any underdogs jump out to you today?
Let's see, Alex. Maybe the Devils. The Devils have a chance tonight. I mean, Dallas has lost 3 out of 4 now. They're not playing at a good level. They lost to a Vegas Golden Knight team who was not playing their best hockey, and Vegas took it to them. A 3-2 victory for the Knights. They really needed that victory. Whereas Dallas, if they would have won that game, they would have sent a message that maybe this is one of the worst Vegas Golden Knight teams that is heading into the playoffs. But Vegas was able to control the tempo in that game. I like the way they played. And now, losing 3 out of 4, we definitely could see the New Jersey Devils possibly win. They had won, 3 in a row until that last loss. And that was a tough loss at Washington. You are now, they're starting a long road trip, the Devils. So they definitely could compete. I don't think there's any pressure there. They're probably not going to, they're not going to make the playoffs. So Dallas is starting to feel a little pressure now because you don't want to lose touch with, Colorado. You want to keep pace with them. You want to stay ahead with Minnesota. You want to play as well as the Golden Knights. Edmonton now banged up with some injuries. So there's chances for Dallas this year. You don't want to fall apart, but they're not playing their best hockey. A lot of pressure on Ottinger and DeSmith there to keep everything solidified for a massive playoff run. But the Devils definitely have a chance tonight. That's a big number, and the Devils are playing better than they have in the past.
So our poll today, getting our viewers' thoughts, is talking about 3 teams going for 3 consecutive wins. Which NHL team gets that done tonight? And we've got 3 over 150 favorites here. Bruins minus 185 against the Leafs. Avs minus 155 in Pittsburgh against the Penguins, or the Ducks minus 175 in Vancouver against the Canucks. Who do you think most gets it done here?
I don't know. That's a tough question, Ryan. I mean, they're all playing at an excellent level. I would probably say the Ducks will get to 3 in a row just because Vancouver, you know what Vancouver brings to the table. They've been streaky. They played a lot better in the last month, don't get me wrong, but Anaheim, they're a streaky team. And when Anaheim gets it going and they start to score goals, they will definitely be the one that wins 3 in a row. But there may be a couple others. I tell you, all 3 of them could win tonight. To be honest with you, the Bruins are very pumped up, right? What's the spread on that? You said it was like 180. Toronto is horrible, 500 hockey. Same old scenario there. They've scored 10 goals in their last 2 games, and they did dominate Detroit. So that's definitely a team. Boston, they could also win the 3 in a row tonight.
Okay.
Dwayne, last question for me for hockey. Can you remember the last time you have seen the Edmonton Oilers as a plus price here at Utah?
I'm loving it, Alex. You know I despise Edmonton. I don't love seeing Draisaitl get hurt, but I don't know what happened to McDavid. He left the ice during practice and was throwing sticks. The Skinner trade didn't turn out to be what they anticipated. I haven't seen that in quite a long time. You would have to jog my memory for that, especially against a team like Utah. But Utah is definitely, they're also fighting for playoff position. 3 out of 4 they've won now, and they've scored 6, 4, and 4 in their 3 wins. So Edmonton has definitely got their backs against the wall now. They're hanging and clinging to that last playoff spot. in that division. So we're going to see how it plays out. They better start to play at a higher level. Maybe here's a chance to take a little plus, and maybe they'll win the game tonight. But long time, Alex. Been a long time since they've been an underdog.
All right, DC, going to the ponies. You've been hot over on Race Day Las Vegas. Do you have any action today, or do the viewers just have to tune in tomorrow to Race Day Las Vegas?
Brian, there's not much, but I'm a degenerate. I'm going to look at Turf Paradise. Race 6. I was prepared. Number 5, Hacksaw Mountain. Manuel Americano, definitely a top rider there at Turf Paradise. Got like 65 wins. You got Robert Bays, an excellent trainer, also at Turf Paradise. 6-1 in the 6th race. Number 5, Hacksaw Mountain, with Americano and Bays as the trainer. Let's see if we could cash another ticket. We've been doing great on race day. The last pick we gave out here as well also won. So we're going to keep that momentum going, hopefully into the Kentucky Derby. Hopefully at the seminar, I'll be able to pick that. We're going to have our seminar with Bob Ike and Jay Privman on Friday the 1st at 6 p.m. in the Cascade Lounge. So don't forget that. Definitely come out to the resort at Summerlin. If you're a horse racing fan, that's what we do best. And, that's my pride and joy. And now we have the Caesar Sports affiliation, which is monstrous. So, the betting menu is just tremendous there. Just even if you just come in and glance at that kiosk for a few minutes and check out all the betting options, it's amazing. You would be, it'll make your head spin. But yeah, definitely we're going to have that seminar on the 1st, right before the Kentucky Derby, 6 p.m. Inside the Cascade Lounge.
Awesome. That is April 1st, coming up just right around the corner here. And tomorrow you can find him 7 a.m. Pacific Time, Race Day, Las Vegas with Ralph Sirocco. Dwayne, we appreciate you. So is there any more sign-up deals going on throughout the tournament or any other viewing things happening?
Yes, it goes through April, actually, Alex. We extended the $350 sign-up bonus. Yeah, so if you don't have a Caesar Sports app, you'd be silly not to come and see me. All you have to do is type in the Summerlin is the password there to receive your bonus, and also make your deposit, your first deposit at the resort at Summerlin only. If you make your deposit somewhere else, you will not qualify for the $350 sign-up bonus. Don't forget, keyword Summerlin, or just hit that resort at Summerlin icon. Make your first deposit with me and my team, and you'll get a $350 bonus. We're going to have a $20 parlay, get you a Caesar scratch-off card for merchandise. We have beautiful quarter zips, Caesar Sports hats, all different types of merch, robes, all sorts of merchandise, and it's just a scratch-off for a $20 parlay. And we will have the Pop-A-Shot Thursday through Sunday. That's a lot of fun, where you're shooting for prizes at the basketball hoop.
Love it. Thank you so much, DC. You can find him on Twitter at NYBookie. Dwayne, you can find him up at Summerlin, the resort at Summerlin. We appreciate you. It was great to see you. We'll try and get you next week or the following again.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it. Definitely. Always have time for Sports by the Book, the best sports betting show and horse racing show on the airwaves, the YouTube waves. Just check it out. Ryan and Alex bring so much to the table, especially now, tournament time. And, Chris and Vinny start to give their picks, and they're right behind the counter like I am. So there's nobody better than Chris and Vinny. What a pleasure working with them for so many years. It's just unbelievable. So you want to listen to these 4 people on this show and, garner all the information you can, gather, and wager after that, because you're going to be cashing a lot of tickets.
As well as Dwayne Colucci, who gave us some great information on these hockey games, which when we come back, Ryan and I are going to break down all 15 and give you our best bets. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for Sports by the Book.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
Looking to bet smarter? Get sports betting insight and winning picks straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
The favorite should be 220-ish, and here you can lay $1.65.
So getting a plus 315 price here for this one to go to overtime. I like it.
Their strength is their defense. I like the under.
Join Sports by the Book Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific and bet your winning edge.
Let's keep it going here on Sports by the Book. Again, we are live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. Alex White, Ryan McCormick. That was Dwayne Colucci. You can find him up at the resort at Summerlin. We appreciate when he jumps on some great information, both about the tournament and hockey. And Ryan, we're going to jump right into it. He made a great point about the Devils. Didn't have that on my card yet, but when we get to it, we'll break it down and see where we are for that one. But I've got about 5 sides and a couple totals. And we'll kick it off with that first game that is a part of our poll question.
Before we do, and we will get to that very quickly, we did get word from Robert that Hacksaw Mountain did scratch in that race that DC gave out. So I reached out to him, see if he had an alternate play. And so it'll be at Turf Paradise, race 5, horse number 7. Cousin Richie is his other pick. Didn't necessarily let me know what the odds were on that one, but Cousin Richie, Turf Paradise, race 5, the 7 horse, if you're looking for that DC pony play.
Okay.
All right.
Cousin Richie, yeah, we got to go with that.
All right. To the puck plays of the day, starting in Boston, where the Maple Leafs are getting +1. Let me make sure. 165 on their money line, -185 on the Bruins. 6.5 is the total with a 120 to the under.
Ryan, I'm going to need you to remind me because Boston, this is, well, both of them are playing
teams
tomorrow.
Yep.
So do you want to set us up with how both of these two are on the first of back-to-back?
So Toronto, the road team here on the first of a back-to-back is 4, 6, and 3. 4 and 9 on the money line. Totals, though, are 8 and 5. 8 overs, 5 unders in the first of a back-to-back for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Boston Bruins, first of a back-to-back. They are 3, 3, and 3. 3 and 6 on the money line. Totals are 6 and 3. 6 overs, 3 unders there. So if you're going with the trends on back-to-backs, it would be a good look to the over here. You are getting a plus price on that over 6.5. But that is where we're currently sit for those back-to-back numbers. It's also the third and final meeting of the year between these two teams.
That's right. And Boston did win the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I hate that angle, but they are the team that is playing much better. Toronto just 2 wins since the break. And this will be Joseph Wolf's chance to go up against the Bruins. They had 2 different goalies, Stolars and Hildeby. Both played in the first 2. It was Jeremy Swayman, and it will be him again here. So I lean that way. I've got a -205 at home, true number. And I do have a little bit of a lean to the over, but I'm 6.53. So it's not a whole lot, but you are getting a plus price there. What do you like?
So the Bruins are a fantastic team at home this year. And you mentioned, the Maple Leafs only have 2 wins coming off that Olympic break. They are 2, 8, and 4. So 2 and 12 on the money line. Failed to look at how many puck lines they covered in that stretch, but we know that it was not very many. They really struggled coming off that Olympic break. I think losing 4 straight by the puck line. But mentioned third and final meeting of the year. The 2 priors were both in November. It was part of a funky home and home to where it was the back-to-back matchups for the Bruins. They were in Toronto, then at home. And Toronto had Carolina in between. But the Bruins did win both of those games 5-3 in both situations of the home and home there. So I would tend to think that the Bruins, with their domination at home this year, will be able to get done here, and the struggles for the Maple Leafs. So I'm looking at that plus 135 on the puck line. Bruins winning by 2, or the over 6.5, getting that even money there.
I'm with you. SBTB, stamp of approval there, because I think that's the best way to play it. And still no Austin Matthews as he's out for the rest of the year. So Boston still trying to keep that playoff spot.
Yep. All right, going to Pittsburgh, where the Avalanche are on the road looking to avenge the 7-2 loss that they suffered a couple nights ago. Second and final meeting of the year between these two teams. But the Avs are a road favorite of -165 is the price here at the South Point, plus 145 for the Penguins. 6.5 is the total with a 125 to the over.
Just a quick little shout out to Andrew. Always ready, whether it's the sound effects or the stamp. He was right on it there. But this one is part of the poll question. I do like the Avs, and you set it up perfectly, Ryan, avenging that 7-2 loss. The one thing that does make me nervous is both goaltenders played. Wedgwood gave up 3 goals on 5 shots. No, 4. Wait, let me double check this. Wedgwood pulled after going down 3-1 on 5 shots. That's right. And then Blackwood allowed 4 on 15. So that makes me a little bit nervous, but I think they'll be ready for this one. And Colorado has started playing better again. So I think it's an Avs spot for sure. What do you think?
You are going to get a great effort in this game from the Colorado Avalanche trying to avenge that 7-2 loss that they suffered in their own home building. It's the third of a 4-game road trip here for the Avalanche. They beat the Blackhawks, covered the puck line there. They won in overtime against the Washington Capitals. You're getting a plus 330 for this game to go to overtime possibly tonight. It will be a playoff atmosphere. Again, the Penguins do have Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin back. Malkin came back in the first meeting with these two, 7-2, and then Crosby came back the next night as the Penguins were taking on the Hurricanes. Also, or J-Man says no Malkin tonight. But anyway, the Penguins, just to make the mention, they're coming off that 5-1 loss against the Hurricanes. They lost 3 matchups to the Hurricanes in a span of 12 days. So a little funky scheduling there by the National Hockey League. But I do think this one will be a very tight game. Tempted by that plus 330. I think it's the largest overtime price we're getting tonight. But do think this will end up being a very good game to watch.
I will say, too, I do have it much higher. My number is 7 under -115. So, what are we looking at? Not a huge difference there. But just with how many goals we saw in that first one, kind of going against the trend of the Avs, though, who are on a 3-game under streak and 4 straight unders on the road. So, makes me a little bit nervous. Maybe I'll avoid that -125.
Okay.
But I'm with you. I think we're going to get a great effort here. So it'd be Colorado or pass.
Malkin is out with an upper body injury. Okay.
That hurts.
Yep. Yeah, we saw what he did to that offense in Denver.
Yeah.
So losing him, but still having Crosby, but got a much bigger body there with Malkin. So still think we'll get a great effort from both sides, but that makes me lean a bit further to the Avalanche there on the road. Going to Montreal, where the Hurricanes are on the road. We've got the Canes as a -135 road favorite, plus 115 for the Habs. 6.5 the total with a 120 to the over.
So adding in the fact that Carolina did lose in Raleigh to the Canadiens, I think that you'll get a great effort from them here. Kind of puts me right on the number, because otherwise I was pretty much just a pick 'em. I do like this one going over just with what I mentioned, and the Canes, they've been scoring a ton of goals. They have a couple stinkers in there, but averaging over 4 and giving up 3.4. Nothing really value-wise, though. So strong lean to Carolina. I think that's a great price on that -135, but I can't fully get there. What about you?
This one will be a great one to watch if you're looking to make a play over the weekend, as these two teams play again on Sunday. That will be their third and final meeting. So this is the second of 3 meetings. I mentioned with DC that Montreal won in Raleigh 7-5. That was on New Year's Day. So if we're looking at a home revenge spot, you're getting a plus 180 for the Hurricanes to return the favor and win by at least 2 here in Montreal. The Canes 9-4 off the Olympic break. The Canadians 6-4-2, 6-6 on the money line since the Olympic break. Would tend to think I've trusted the Canadians. They're in my top 10, but the Hurricanes are higher in that top 10. So think the Canes get it done here on the road, kind of prove their dominance heading into this postseason stretch with the final 12, 11 games left in the remainder of the regular season.
Have we seen Freddie Anderson lately? Shoot, I'm not logged in there. It looks like it will be, I'm just gotten so used to seeing Brandon Bussey that I didn't know his last start. Okay, yes, he did. He started against. He's got a lot. They've been alternating quite a bit here.
Okay.
As of late.
Yeah, both meetings
Okay.
against the Penguins.
Yes.
Allowed 5 in their 6-5 overtime win. Stopped 18 of 19 shots in the second meeting. That would be on Sunday. Has all 3 meetings against the Penguins. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We've seen a decent amount of Frederick Anderson.
Yeah.
Okay. Going to the UBS Arena, where the Islanders are hosting the Blackhawks. Islanders -165, home favorite +145 for the Blackhawks. 6 is the total with a 110 both ways.
I wish that it was going to be Sorokin, but I'm okay here, even though it is going to be David Redditch for the Islanders and Spencer Knight going for Chicago. I love this total going under. I mean, looking at these two on the offensive side right now, the Hawks are 30th in goals per game. The Islanders are 22nd. And then the Isles are tied for 4th in goals against. And Chicago fell off a little bit, 22nd, but I'd like to back Spencer Knight. So first, was it the first game or the last game? It was December 30th where Chicago lost 3-2 in a shootout at home. So kind of give them a little bit for that home revenge too. But I like the under. I think we see another game just like that.
I think we see another game just like that. And it's a $3 for them to go to overtime, which would be the second time this year that they go to overtime, as the Islanders, as Alex mentioned, won in the shootout in the first meeting in Chicago. Islanders coming off of a 1-0 victory against the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Blackhawks coming off of a 3-0 or 3-2 loss in overtime to the Nashville Predators. So both played in very tight games in their most recent. They played in a tight game in their last one. I think it'll be a tight game here tonight. The Blackhawks 4, 5, and 4 off the Olympic break, 4 and 9 on the money line, but 4 overtime games there, 4 overtime losses. The Islanders 8, 5, and 0. They have not lost in overtime coming off the break. So we'll say overtime in this one. $3 for the Blackhawks and Islanders to go to overtime.
I like it.
Going to Florida, where the Kraken and Panthers have a battle. Panthers -130 at the home tonight, +110 for the Kraken. 6 is the total with a 110 both ways.
As I said to you before show, both of these teams are kind of just there as of right now in the season, even though Seattle is actually ahead of the Sharks, but the Sharks are that flashier team that people are rooting for to actually make a push into the playoffs. I have Florida much bigger at home here, -170. So kind of leads me to a play on the Panthers. I just don't know if I can trust them. But Seattle has lost 7 of their last 9, so they are not playing good hockey either. So I believe Seattle's last win was against this Panthers team.
Yep. The first matchup of these two was 9 days ago, last Sunday. Sunday before last, I guess. And the Kraken have lost 3 straight since then. The Kraken won 6-2 back in Seattle. They are 4 and 9 off of the Olympic break. The Panthers are now back home off of a 4-game road trip. They had the puck line covered in all 4 games, but they lost by the puck line in 3 of those 4 games, including to the Seattle Kraken. And the Panthers are just 5 and 7 off the Olympic break. So, we've said that the Kraken are on the list and stay away, or at least I have. So this one will be a no bet, but tend to think this one. I would be tempted by that +110 and maybe even a look at the reverse puck line. But Panthers again do have the pedigree, and the Kraken, both teams struggling. So it'll be a stay away, but I would look to the Kraken side of things.
All right. Stay away for both of us. And this next one, Ryan, both of these teams are kind of on my no bet list too.
Okay.
You want to take it away?
Up to Detroit, where the Senators are on the road taking on the Red Wings. Red Wings, -125 on the money line, +105 for the Senators. Keep in mind, the Red Wings are going for the season sweep, going for 4 of 4 wins in the meetings. And the Senators are obviously looking to avoid getting swept in 4 of 4 meetings against this team this year.
That helps. That definitely leans me over there to Ottawa, where I've got the Red Wings minus 122 here at home. I could add in probably 15 cents and get there to get that plus 105 price. I like the way the Sens are playing. It will be Olmark versus Gibson, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm tempted. Total right there, I'm a little bit higher. So they're juiced to the under. I've got 6 over, minus 110. What do you think?
I like the over. I've got the back-to-back note here for the Ottawa Senators. They are 7-3-1, 7-4 on the money line in the second of a back-to-back. They are 9-2 to the over. 9 overs, 2 unders in the second of a back-to-back for the Senators. Mentioned last night that they really kind of dominated the New York Rangers, allowing only 10 shots on goal. Senators are 9-2 off the Olympic break, 9-4 on the money line off the Olympic break. The Red Wings are 5-2, 5-7 on the money line off the Olympic break. And as I mentioned, this is the 4th and final meeting of the year between these two, and the Red Wings have won all 3 priors, all 3 in the calendar year of 2026 as well. January 5th, the Red Wings won 5-3 in Ottawa, 4-3 overtime win in Detroit January 18th, and then a 2-1 overtime win, first game back off of the Olympic break, February 26th. So this one will be a playoff type game. We're in Hockey Town. We're 2 teams that are outside the playoff picture, the very first 2 teams outside the playoff picture on the east side. So I think we'll be getting goals, going with that first of back-to-back trend for the Senators, getting a plus price there on that over 6. And tend to think that the Senators will be able to get it done with the Wings struggles here. So 2 plus prices there, plus 105 for the Senators money line, plus even money on that over 6.
What about pizza money on OT here?
285.
Okay. So not as big of a price that we would like, but definitely has a shot.
Yep. All right, to Philly, where the Blue Jackets are on the road taking on the Flyers. Flyers getting plus 115 as a home team underdog, minus 135 for the Blue Jackets on the road. 6 is the total with a 120 to the under.
I got there betting against the Blue Jackets on Sunday with the Islanders catching a plus price, and I'm going to try again here with the Flyers, plus 115. I just am so impressed with Dan Vladar's, the way he's played and his numbers, 233 goals against and a 908 save percentage. On the other side, Jet Greaves has been very good as well. But the Blue Jackets did win the first 2 meetings. I don't know if this is the final, Ryan,
Yep.
or, okay, final one here. So I'm going to take a shot at that plus 115. My real number is actually a pick'em. I would be maybe minus 108 for Columbus, minus 102 for the Flyers, but right there. So I like that plus 115, getting that difference.
I also like the plus price with the 115. I do get that the Blue Jackets have been a completely different team since firing their head coach and promoting their bench coach to be their interim head coach. And as you mentioned, Columbus is going for the season sweep in 3 games of the Flyers. So 5-3 final in Columbus. That was January 28th. And then 2-1 shootout win by the Blue Jackets just 10 days ago. So that one was played tight. 3 total goals. I do think we'll end up seeing a tight game here. So no real feel on that total. But I would like the plus price here with the home dog.
I've got it a little bit higher. I'm actually 6.15, so 6 over 15. Maybe I'll split it up and go with a little bit half on that over. Columbus does have an under streak coming into this, 3 straight unders in their road games. And the Flyers' median numbers are 2-2. So that's enough to keep you off that.
So 9-3-1 off the Flyers off the Olympic break. 8-2-4, 8-6 on the money line are the Blue Jackets off of the break.
Yep, both very good.
Looking at the price plus price there with the Flyers. Going down to Florida, Tampa Bay, where the Lightning are a minus 170 home favorite against the Minnesota Wild, plus 150 for the Wild money line. 6.5 is the total with a 120 to the under.
I was talking about the Wild and where they are in my top 10 when we went over that yesterday. If you missed it, you can go back to yesterday's show. Ryan and I both gave out our NHL top 10. The Wild have lost 5 of their last 8. Not playing great hockey right now. They did win on March 3rd against Tampa Bay 5-1, but I like the way Tampa is playing. They won 3 of their last 4 on their road trip. Now they're back home. -170 is a pretty big price here, Ryan, but that's the way I'm leaning. I think the home team is the right side in this one.
So yeah, you mentioned the kind of confidence boost that the Lightning had going on that road trip, winning 3 of 4, and the Wild, yeah, struggling 6-5-2, 6-7 off the Olympic break. This one for overtime, +315.
Wow.
So one team looking to get right, one team has the confidence getting back home. This one is also a playoff type game. So overtime +315 there could be a good look.
Okay. So there's a couple we're gonna have to, in case they don't make your board, but some that were tempting for overtimes.
All right, going to Winnipeg. Second of 3 meetings this year between the Golden Knights and Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg catching +105 as a home underdog, -125 for the Vegas Golden Knights on the road. 6 is the total with a 115 to the under.
I've got nothing here. I actually have got Vegas slightly lower, -120 on the road against Winnipeg. And Winnipeg's right behind San Jose and Seattle. Hopefully, Vegas can string a couple wins together. Dwayne did not mention, because he was being nice, they did beat the backup goalie, Casey DeSmith, with the Stars. So, but maybe that was just the confidence booster they needed. It will be Hellebuck, though, against Aiden Hill here. So stay away from me. I will say, though, Vegas is on a nice little under streak, 5 straight unders, 3 on the road. And I think that's just because they're struggling to score, and Aiden Hill is playing a lot better. So we've gotten a lot of unders from them as of late.
5 and 9 are the Vegas Golden Knights off the Olympic break. 7, 3 and 4, 7 and 7 are the money line are the Winnipeg Jets. Yeah, not trusting what the Vegas Golden Knights have been doing. We've been fading them the last couple of nights. It's been working out. So a plus price with a home team. I'll be doing it again. Taking the Jets, back in Connor Hellebuck, to maybe burst the bubble of any bit of confidence that the Knights got in Dallas with that win. So second of 3 meetings this year between these two teams. They will play in the second to last game for both of these teams, April 13th. So look forward to that one. But plus price here with the home team.
Did you happen to check this overtime price?
$290.
Okay. I think that's worth it.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, the last game they did play was 4-3. It
Yep.
was a tighter game. And Vegas coming off that 3-2. And you got Hellebuck. So
Yeah, good point. So plus 290 on the Golden Knights and Jets to go to overtime. Capitals on the road in St. Louis taking on the Blues. -115 is the home team Blues. -105 are the road team Capitals. 6 is the total with a 115 to the under.
I'm right there, -105 for the Caps on the road. I do have an underplay. I've got it 5.63, so 5.5 juice to the over. I think that's a big enough difference here. Caps have really struggled to generate any offense as of late. Logan Thompson has been great. It will not be Bennington. It will be Joel Hofer. So I think under is the play for me. Under 6, another total.
Well, the Capitals are on my list. They're really good at home, but they're on the road here.
Yep.
So the Blues are 8-2-2 off the Olympic break, 8-4 on the money line. So this one will ultimately end up being a stay away. But those are the notes that I have for this one. Alex also mentioned the Capitals winning 6-1 in Washington, but that was back in November. Going to Dallas, where the Devils are on the road. DC liked the road team here in this one. But Stars, -160 is the price here at the South Point, +140 on the New Jersey Devils. 6 is the total with a 115 to the under.
I've actually got the Stars a little bit higher here, -185 at home against the New Jersey Devils. I have not fully bought into what they've been doing off the Olympic break. But to Dwayne's point, and I think he made a great point, that Dallas may be getting a little bit tight here down the stretch, and the Devils really have no pressure. And not only did they lose at home, but they were shut out against this Dallas Stars team. So adding that in kind of gets me off of this one. I do like the under in this one. I actually might like this one even better. I've got it 5.37. I've got 5.5 under 17. So that's a definite play. It might be better than the Washington Blues one.
The Stars really, in my mind, kind of blew that game against the Knights the other night. And so still in their home barn, kind of a hard reset against a team that had a lot of expectations here in the New Jersey Devils going into the year. That plus 165 on the puck line to kind of make a statement for the Stars here is going to be good for me. So I'll be rooting for the Stars to win by 2, but we'll go with another 3-0 shutout here in Dallas instead of New Jersey in this meeting. To Nashville, where that one is also $3 to go to overtime, if you were curious on that one. Okay, to Nashville, where the Sharks are on the road. Preds, minus 140 on their money line, plus 120 for the Sharks road money line, and 6.5 is the total with a 120 to the under.
First game this year for these two, I've actually got Nashville slightly higher. Because we will be having the backup goalie here. Nashville has been playing really good. They're on a nice win streak here. So I've got a minus 150 at home. They're on a 4-game win streak. The Sharks are on a 4-game losing streak. I think this is a Predator spot. Question is, do I want to lay minus 140 with Nashville, or maybe a small pizza money bet here, minus 1.5 plus 175 for the Predators on the puck line? Are you going opposite?
Yeah, let's get a little Vinny in here with the two-way action.
Two-way action.
I'm thinking the Sharks have either lost by the puck line or won outright. We'll mention that again with another team coming up here in the last game of the day. But the Sharks they're a really hard team to predict. But the plus 120 shooting up at a team that has now taken over that final wild card spot in the Nashville Predators. I just don't think the Preds should be a minus 140 favorite. I get what your numbers say. But we'll bring in how they're playing off the Olympic break to kind of explain, well, not really explain things because it would go against my point. But anyway, Sharks 5-6-2, 5-8 off the Olympic break. And the Predators 7-4-2, 7-6 off the Olympic break. But Alex did mention it's the first of 3 meetings between these two teams. They will play again on April 4th and April 13th. So the second to last game of the year for these two will be that final meeting. Overtime is a plus 305. That could be a good one if we're getting a little two-way action. I think this one will be tight, but I'm more tempted by that plus 120. With the Sharks here.
I guess whoever wants to in the chat jump in with going for an overtime, because we could middle. If I'm going puck line, you're going Sharks. So maybe overtime would be the winner there. I was surprised. I was not surprised with the Sharks. The Sharks trends on the totals this year. Where are they? Right there. Sorry. Oh, I guess a little bit under 32 and 34. But it was Nashville that was actually surprising. They're the same, 32 and 34. So slightly trend to the under. But I guess that's why you were getting that's why it's juiced to the under here. I think we're going to get goals. I really do, from both sides. We know that is Sharks' identity. And their median number on the road, 3 goals for, 4 goals against. I made this higher, 6.5 over, minus 125. So getting a plus price there might be the best play of them all. So,
okay,
may add that as well.
All right, going to Calgary, where the Kings are on the road taking on the Flames. Kings minus 145 as a road favorite, plus 125 for the Flames. 5.5 is the total with a 120 to the over.
Before I give my play, will you run through how these two teams have been doing since the break?
Since the break, the Kings are 5-6-3, 5-9 on the money line. The Calgary Flames are 6-7-1 off the Olympic break, 6-8 on the money line.
Okay. I actually have the Kings minus 115 on the road here. And I know they've been much better on the road than at home. But I do like the way the Calgary has been playing. I think these two goalies, and it is going to be Devin Cooley, right? Let me double check that as well. Because I did make that switch earlier today. No, Dustin Wolf is confirmed on goalie post. What does Andrew have there? Okay, it is Dustin Wolf. I thought it was going to be Cooley, who has been very good for them. So maybe this is a stay off of it. But I was definitely looking at that Flames plus price here, Ryan. What about you?
I am also looking at the Flames plus price. Both teams are on a 3-game streak. The Kings have lost 3 straight, and the Flames have won 3 straight. With that being said, all 3 of those wins for the Flames have been at home. They are in the 4th. This is the 4th of a 6-game homestand. So thinking they'll stay hot at home, getting the plus price there with the Flames. Plus 120. Seems good to me. Did have another note that this is the 3rd of 4 meetings they will play in the regular season finale to finish up their season series. But the winner in both priors has scored only 2 goals. So it would be a look to the under, but not with Dustin Wolf in net for the Flames. Calgary won 2-1 in overtime in Los Angeles. That was back in December 13th. And the Kings won 2-0 again in Los Angeles. That was February 28th. So both of these 2 meetings tonight and the regular season finale will be in Calgary. But taking the plus 125 with the Flames here.
I like the under as well. I actually made it 5 over minus 118. So big difference there. And as you mentioned, prior games. And then looking at their offensive numbers right now, Kings are tied for 28th in goals for, and Calgary is 32nd. So I know the goaltending is questionable, but I like the under and I like the Flames here.
Okay. Going over to Utah, where the Oilers are on the road and are an underdog. Plus 110 here at the South Point is the price. Mammoth laying a minus 135. Total is a 6.5 with a 115 to the over.
It would be over or pass for me. I'm probably not going to bet it. I'm pretty close. I'm 7 under minus 120. So there is a difference there. I think the number's right. I have Utah minus 130 at home against the Oilers. If you wanted to jump in and take a plus price with Edmonton, I couldn't fault you, even though you can do that in a ton of games in-game. Just wait till after the first period. That first game, actually, that these two played, Ryan, I really dove into it, where Utah went up 2-0 in the first, and then 6 goals were scored in the second period, Edmonton scoring 5. And that was Skinner versus Vejmelka. So it will be Connor Ingram here. Vejmelka may want to have a redo. So what do you think?
Edmonton 6-6-1, 6-7 off the Olympic break. Utah is 7-5-2, 7-7 on the money line off the break. Edmonton is coming into this one after losing 2 straight at home to both the Florida teams by the puck line in both games. They get shut out against the Panthers 4-0, and then lose to the Tampa Bay Lightning 5-2. Both of those in their home building. So kind of a little bit of an embarrassing stretch here for the Oilers. Granted, they did lose Leon Draisaitl. But we've kind of learned that it is a little bit of a difficult place to play here in Utah in the Delta Center. So it would be a look with the Mammoth getting it done, defending home ice here.
Just no real value. I mean, 130 feels like a pretty good price there for them, but 185, you'd have to go puck line. And the Oilers, I don't know. They're a tough team to try and beat on the puck line.
Yeah. They just have so much potential. You're really just banking on a lapse in goaltending in order to get that one. But they have lost 2 straight by the puck line. So
interesting, yeah.
Yeah, you got the fortitude. Going to Vancouver, the final game of the night. The Anaheim Ducks on the road taking on the Vancouver Canucks. Anaheim is a -175 road favorite, +155 for the Canucks. 6.5 is the total with a 130 to the over.
A little bit higher for me, -130. I'm 7 under, -115. Not enough. I'm going to go with the Ducks. I think this might be my favorite play of the day. Just got to figure out if I'm laying -175 or taking a shot on the puck line here. But Ryan, Vancouver, 2-0 against Anaheim this year.
2-0 against Anaheim this year.
So, I mean, you're getting the better team. And those were earlier in the year. One was November, one was January 30th. But I think Anaheim's going to be ready for this one. And Vancouver's already eliminated officially. Anaheim's still a lot to play for. So give me the Ducks. Now, what are you doing? And should we take the +135 on the puck line?
That would be my look. Mention the winning outright or losing by the puck line for the San Jose Sharks. That is the case here for the Vancouver Canucks. They either win outright or lose by the puck line. So that's in this 8-game homestand that the Canucks are on. They are in the 7th of an 8-game homestand, and every single one of this prior meetings, every single game that they've played on this homestand has either been won outright or lost by the puck line. They are 3-7-2 off the Olympic break, 3-9 on the money line off the Olympic break. The Ducks 9-4-1 off the Olympic break, 9-5 on the money line. Start of a 3-game Canadian trip. They're going to be in Calgary and Edmonton next. It's the second time that they will make an entirely Canadian trip this season and this month, where they were in Winnipeg to start the last Canadian trip. They won that one 4-1. So we'll just, the Ducks in my top 10. The Nucks, the very bottom of the league. So Ducks by 2 at least. +135 there.
All right.
However, you think it'll be close? How we were with the Hurricanes and Canucks, which that one did not end up being close. Overtime +335.
Wow.
So
that is a good number there. I think Anaheim's going to make a statement, though.
Yeah, we have a lot of $3 overtimes today.
Yes. We've got a lot of plays, 15 hockey games. So, everybody, thank you. Pick and choose what you like after hearing all of our rationale and why we are making these bets. I'm just looking for one, and that is Calgary plus 125 here. Okay. Ryan, do you want to go poll results, trivia, all of that, and then I'll read my board while you can finish up yours?
Sure. Did also want to make a mention because I did see J-Main in the chat letting us know that he had an NBA play, but did not let us know what that NBA play was. We'd be happy to give you a shout out on what your plays are in today, even if we don't mention the specific game or specific sport. So if you've got the look, Kevin Durant against Eastern Conference teams, we'll give you the shout out. Let us know the price, and we'll see if everybody wants to tail you, because you might have a good angle there that stands for everybody in our chat, all of our viewers. We thank you guys for your support. We thank you guys for being here. And if you want to give out winners to help us, as we've helped put money in your pocket, the more the merrier. All right, going to our poll for today. Well, we'll do our trivia, ticker trivia presented by City Light Shine first. We'll do answer, then we'll do the poll, and then or question, then poll, then I'll reveal the answer. All right, do a little ping pong. Okay, today's ticker trivia presented by City Light Shine, available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and here at the South Point Hotel and Casino, talking about Major League Baseball opening day trivia, as opening day is tomorrow, technically opening night, and everyone else begins the season on Thursday. But which Major League Baseball players hold the current record for most career opening day home runs? So that is your question for ticker trivia presented by City Light Shine. We'll get to the answer in a moment as we are talking about the poll. Now, 3 teams going for 3 wins in a row in the National Hockey League. That would be the Bruins, a minus 185 favorite at home against the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Ducks, a minus 175 road favorite in Vancouver against the Canucks, and the Avalanche, a minus 155 road favorite in Pittsburgh against the Penguins. And our viewers, 39% of them, going with the Bruins being the most likely to get it done at home against the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm there with you, with our viewers there in today's poll. So Bruins being able to get it done against the Maple Leafs. Now for the answer of today's Ticker Trivia presented by City Light Shine, we'll repeat the question and give you an answer. Which Major League Baseball player holds the current record for most career home runs on opening day? And your answer for today's Ticker Trivia presented by City Light Shine will be 3 Major League Baseball players are tied for the league lead in opening day home runs. That would be Frank Robinson, who is now in a little bit of drama. Ken Griffey Jr. and Adam Dunn currently share the league record for most career home runs on opening day with 8 apiece. Las Vegas' own Bryce Harper is the member of the elite club to have at least 6 career opening day home runs, getting his 6th just last year. Another mention of 6 opening day home runs would be Tyler O'Neill, who has homered in 6 straight opening days. Will be going for his 7th on Thursday now with the Baltimore Orioles. So I know I've seen it on social media a lot. People reminding you to bet Tyler O'Neill to hit a opening day homer. Be cautious. He is on a record stretch now, so that would just be furthering it. More just a rooting interest there. Tyler O'Neill to hit a homer for the Baltimore Orioles on Thursday. But your Ticker Trivia answer, presented by City Light Shine, will be Frank Robinson, Ken Griffey Jr., and Adam Dunn currently hold the record for most opening day home runs in Major League Baseball history.
We'll have to check on that price. I wonder if it's already been bet a ton to where you're not getting a very fair price for him to hit a home run.
I would imagine, yeah, it's been driven. Let me take a look.
I mean, Bryce Harper's not a bad bet either, as we just saw him put his team on the board for Team USA, even though they fell short.
Yep.
But, I mean, those are the guys you want to bet on, right?
Yeah.
Playing meaningful baseball. Not that spring training's not, but...
Which today is also the last day of spring training, as opening night is tomorrow. Okay, so there is one of those specialty props over on DK, Tyler O'Neill to have at least 2 hits in the game, and one of them being a home run. You're getting a plus 650, but you're also banking on a second hit, so maybe he hits 2 homers in the game. Tyler O'Neill, at least 1 homer, plus 316. Just behind Byron Buxton and Pete Alonso. Byron Buxton is a plus 260, and Pete Alonso is a plus 290. Taylor Ward's a 360. Gunnar Henderson's a 360. You should be getting more 380 plus for Tyler O'Neill to be hitting a home run. Really more over $4, but with how it's been driven, it's now to 316.
Jeez. Yeah. That's...
If you want to root for it, go for it.
We'll have to ask Chris what the true odds really are, because that's, yeah. It's tough enough just to get a hit.
Right.
3 for 10. Okay.
They're going against the Twins, though. So
okay. That may help a little bit. Do we know if we have our good friend Madden Everett tomorrow? Did he confirm?
So tomorrow is media day at the Las Vegas ballpark for the Las Vegas Aviators. So not confirmed yet. We should be having Matt and Everett on the show tomorrow to talk baseball. But that is still up in the air.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be ready. We'll be ready to talk baseball. We only have 2 hockey tomorrow. We do have a ton of basketball coming up again starting Thursday. Some NIT games tonight. I'll be keeping an eye on, and then there are 2 more tomorrow, so we can dive into those, try and find some bets. Didn't see any big differences for the games tonight, with New Mexico as a big favorite, and then Tulsa and Wichita, and who am I missing that is playing in this? But yeah, tomorrow we'll give some final thoughts on Sweet 16 for Thursday and Friday, and then Friday we will have Chris Andrews or Vinny here to preview the weekend as well. All right, going for my best bets. There's a lot, so hang with me. But I moved Boston to the bottom here because these 3 puck lines are going to be smaller bets. Pizza money bets here. Boston -1.5 plus 135. Nashville going head to head with Ryan there. Puck line plus 175. And then I'm going with Anaheim -1.5 plus 135. I like Calgary on the money line at home against the Kings plus 125. I also like the under there, 5.5. I like Chicago and the Islanders under 6. My only over, Ottawa Red Wings over 6, even money. I did make it a little bit higher. Hopefully we get a 3-3. Ottawa wins 4-3 in that one. The Flyers plus 115 at home against Columbus, Washington, and the Blues under 6, and then New Jersey and Dallas under 6 as well. So 4 unders, 1 over, and a couple of plus prices there for you on this Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. All right, Ryan.
I am giving out nothing but plus prices today. Let me finish up the puck line in the final game of the night, which is also on Alex's board. They're on the road. Another A. All right. 7 plus money plays, 2 totals, 2 home underdogs, 2 overtimes, and a puck line.
Variety. Very good.
2 overs. 1 in Boston with the Maple Leafs and Bruins going over 6, getting even money. Ottawa and Detroit going over 6 in Detroit, getting even money. The Flyers defending home ice, getting a plus 115 against the Blue Jackets. The Flames getting defending home ice, getting a plus 125 against the Kings. The Blackhawks and Islanders going to overtime, $3 there. The Wild and Lightning going to overtime, plus 315 there. And the Ducks covering the puck line, winning by at least 2, plus 135 against the Nucks.
All right, a couple of same ones. So hopefully we can get home there with some home dogs and some totals and your overtimes. We're always rooting for those overtimes. All right, anything else in the chat? I see very active today. Did J-Main give his NBA or not yet? Maybe none tonight.
Yeah, he did not let us know if he has any action in the NBA tonight. And Bob, yes, we are rooting for overtime really in every single game just to get that plus. Don't free fire on all of them, although you'd only need 5 of them. But did want to say a very special thank you to Attila for this Henderson Silver Knights Star Wars polo crossover with the Silver Knights logo and some Star Wars stuff on it. So thank you, Attila. Another giveaway top. Much appreciated. Big Star Wars fan.
Very cool giveaway. Attila at all of the local sporting events, and I'm sure he'll be there Friday. And we have fireworks Friday, Ryan, for our opening night for the Las Vegas Aviators.
Yes, I did also want to mention, I did say that rings and fireworks would both be on Friday. That is not true. Only fireworks on Friday, rings on Saturday. So replica PCL League champion rings on Saturday is the giveaway. Friday is
Nice.
fireworks only for opening night at Las Vegas Ballpark.
That was a good idea. I like that for a giveaway. That's fun. Very cool. All right. That's it for us for today. Packed show. Thank you again to Dwayne Colucci for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully Matt Neverett joins us, but regardless, we will really dive into MLB2, give our last final preseason future bets that we like, divisions, maybe win totals, anything that we have found as of late. Ryan tweeted out there's been some last-minute movers, including the Mets jumping ahead of the Phillies and the Braves. So some interesting stuff there. Anything else, Ryan, that jumped out?
I did want to kind of go over those a little bit. I wrote a note for myself. Major League Baseball win totals, some movers from the openers. So teams that have improved their win totals or have had some big moves to the over by at least 2 games would be the Kansas City Royals, opened at 82, now at 84 on their win total. The Colorado Rockies open at 53 are now at a 56. Pittsburgh Pirates open at 77.5 are now at 79.5. The Mariners, Rangers, Tigers, Dodgers, Giants, Mets, and Marlins have all moved up either 1 or 1.5 games off of their win total. The A's, Twins, White Sox, Brewers have moved up a half game on their win total, so some slight action to the over on theirs. There are 8 teams that have had no movement on their win totals here at the South Point. That would be the Angels, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Orioles, the Rays, the Padres, the Diamondbacks, and the Cubs. So 4 of the 5 teams in the AL East have seen no movement. Some pretty perfect lines set by Chris and company upstairs. Teams that have moved down a half game, so some action to the under or 1 or more, but this is the 2 teams have moved down a half game. That would be the Astros down from 85 to 84.5, and the Phillies down from 88.5 to 88. The Guardians, Blue Jays, and Cardinals have moved down a full game. Guardians down from 79 to 78. Blue Jays down from 89 to 88, and the Cardinals down from 69.5 to 68.5. And then 3 teams have moved down 2 games on their win totals. So some heavy action to the under. That would be the Cincinnati Reds moving from 83 wins down to 81. The Atlanta Braves moving from 90 to 88. And the Washington Nationals moving down 2.5 from 67.5 now to 65 on their win totals.
Cincinnati makes sense with the news that Hunter Green will be out for a little bit. What about the Braves? Is that more just love on the Mets?
Yeah, so the Mets are the new kind of leader in the clubhouse in the NL East. Win total wise, there's a tie for the league or division winner between the Mets and Braves at a plus 180 price. But yeah, I think it's been some. I kind of think the expectation was a little too high based on how they performed last year with all their injuries and everything, and expecting guys to come back to be 100% and perform with what they were the year before. So just thinking that the Braves won't approach that 90 wins, will be closer to 500. So it's moved down that 2 games now to 88.
All right. We'll talk more tomorrow and kind of look over the numbers. And as I mentioned, give our final best bets going into the season, win total or divisions. We'll also talk about the Sweet 16 and more hockey moving forward. So thank you, everybody. Please hit that like button. We'll see you again tomorrow, same place, same time. Thank you to the crew, as always, and Jerry, Sean, Vince, and Andrew. And to Ryan, best of luck to us. Let's cash some tickets. We got a lot of plus prices here, a lot of good hockey to be watching. So good luck, everybody. Cash some tickets. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Sports by the Book.